Ma'am, your son is dead. 5 words. That's all it took to destroy my entire world. This story contains police violence, loss, and grief. Viewer discretion is advised. My son, Marcus, 23 years old, college graduate, had his whole life ahead of him. Shot 17 times by the police during a routine traffic stop. They said he reached for something. They said they feared for their lives. They said it was justified. But what they didn't know, what those officers had no idea about when they pulled that trigger, was who I am. Welcome to Untold Chronicles. This is a story about a mother's grief, a system's failure, and a fight for justice that would shake an entire city to its core. Before we begin, tell me, where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments. And if you believe every mother deserves justice, hit that subscribe button right now. This story will break your heart, but I promise you, it will also give you hope. Stay to the end. You need to hear this. June 15th, 2024, 11:47 p.m. I was in my home office, reviewing case files for Monday morning. My reading glasses perched on my nose. A cup of chamomile tea cooling on my desk. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Almost let it go to voicemail. But something, mother's intuition, divine intervention, I don't know, made me pick up. Is this Dr. Evelyn Carter? The voice was formal, clinical, the kind of voice that's been trained to deliver bad news without breaking. Yes, this is she. Ma'am, this is Officer Jenkins from the Metropolitan Police Department. There's been an incident involving your son, Marcus Carter. My hand tightened around the phone. What kind of incident? Is he hurt? The pause. God, that pause. Ma'am, I'm very sorry to inform you that your son was involved in an officer-involved shooting earlier this evening. He didn't make it. I'm so sorry for your loss. The room tilted. Officer-involved shooting. Didn't make it. Your loss. Words that shattered into meaningless sounds. What do you mean he didn't make it? Where's my son? I need to see him. Right now. Ma'am, I understand this is difficult, but we need you to come down to the medical examiner's office to identify. I hung up. Called Marcus's phone. Straight to voicemail. Called again. And again. And again. 12 times I called my baby boy's phone. Each ring echoing in the silence of my office. Each voicemail beep driving the truth deeper into my chest like a knife. Marcus wasn't going to answer. Marcus would never answer again. My son wasn't perfect. I need you to understand that. He wasn't some angel I'm painting in my grief. Marcus was brilliant. Graduated Howard University with a degree in computer engineering. But he was also young, sometimes reckless, occasionally defiant. He'd gotten speeding tickets, talked back to authority, had that young black man's swagger that terrified white people for absolutely no reason. But he was mine. He was my baby, my only child, the boy who still called me every Sunday without fail, who brought me flowers on Mother's Day, who was planning to propose to his girlfriend, Sarah, next month. He had a ring. I'd helped him pick it out 2 weeks earlier. Now he had a toe tag. The drive to the medical examiner's office is blank in my memory. I don't remember getting in my car. Don't remember the route. Don't remember parking. I just remember the cold. That building was so cold. They led me to a room. Sterile. White walls. The smell of chemicals and death. A sheet-covered body on a table. Are you ready, Dr. Carter? I wasn't. You're never ready to see your child's body. But I nodded. The medical examiner pulled back the sheet. And there was my baby, Marcus. His beautiful face destroyed. They'd shot him in the chest. 17 times. 17. His body looked like... I can't describe what they did to my son. But I can tell you this. Whatever threat those officers claimed to see, it didn't require 17 bullets to neutralize. I collapsed. Right there on that cold floor. Screaming. A sound I didn't know a human could make. A mother's grief given voice. They try to help me up. Try to comfort me. But there is no comfort when your child is dead. There's only rage. The preliminary police report came out the next morning. Officers conducted a routine traffic stop of a vehicle matching the description of one involved in a reported robbery. The driver, later identified as Marcus Carter, 23, became combative and reached toward his waistband. Fearing for their safety, officers discharged their weapons. The suspect was pronounced dead at the scene. A weapon was recovered from the vehicle. Every single word was a lie. But I didn't know that yet. Stay with me. This story gets darker before it gets light. But justice, real justice, is coming. The police department moved fast. Too fast. Within 48 hours, they completed their internal investigation and determined the shooting was justified. The officers involved, Daniel Morrison and Kyle Brennan, were placed on paid administrative leave and returned to duty 3 weeks later. Case closed. Except I wasn't about to let my son become another statistic. Another hashtag. Another name on a list of black men killed by police that America would scroll past in their news feed. Because they didn't know who they were dealing with. My name is Dr. Evelyn Carter. For 23 years, I've been a federal prosecutor specializing in civil rights violations. I put dirty cops in prison, dismantled corrupt police departments, prosecuted cases all the way to the Supreme Court. I've dedicated my entire career to holding law enforcement accountable. And now they kill my son. I took a leave of absence from my position, called every contact I had in the Justice Department, hired the best civil rights attorneys in the country, and I started digging. What I found made my blood run cold. First, the weapon they claimed to recover from Marcus's car. A cell phone. My cell phone, actually. An old iPhone I'd given him when his broke. It was in the center console. Not in his hand. Not in his waistband. In the console. They called a cell phone a weapon. Second, the robbery that supposedly matched his vehicle description happened 3 hours earlier, 15 miles away. The suspect vehicle was described as a dark blue sedan. Marcus drove a silver Honda Civic. Not even close. Third, and this is where it gets truly evil, the body camera footage. Initially, the department claimed the officer's body cameras malfunctioned during the incident. Both of them, simultaneously. How convenient, but I'm a federal prosecutor. I know how these systems work. I know body cameras have redundant backups, cloud storage, automatic uploads. So I filed a Freedom of Information Act request. Then another. Then I got a federal judge to issue a warrant for the department's entire digital storage system. And guess what we found? The footage wasn't malfunctioned. It was deleted, manually, deliberately, by someone with administrative access to the police department's digital evidence system. Someone tried to destroy the only objective record of what happened to my son. But here's what they didn't know about digital forensics. Nothing is ever truly deleted. I hired a team of cyber forensic experts, the same ones who work on FBI cases. We spent $40,000 of my own money recovering that footage from the department's backup servers. And when we finally reconstructed what those cameras recorded, I watched my son die. I watched him get pulled over for matching a description that he didn't match. I watched him comply with every command. Hands on the steering wheel. License and registration ready. Respectful. Calm. I watched Officer Morrison approach the driver's side window and immediately escalate. Yelling. Aggressive. Demanding Marcus get out of the car. I watched my son say, "Officer, what did I do wrong? Why am I being pulled over?" A question every citizen has the right to ask. And I watched Officer Morrison respond by yanking open the car door and dragging Marcus out. My son never reached for anything. He never made a threatening move. He raised his hands and said, clear as day, "I'm not resisting. Please don't hurt me." And then Officer Morrison shouted, "Gun? He's got a gun." A lie. There was no gun. But that lie gave Officer Brennan the justification he needed to open fire. 17 shots in 8 seconds. My baby didn't die instantly. The footage shows him on the ground, gasping, bleeding, looking at the camera with confused, terrified eyes. And in his final moments, as his life bled out onto that street, I heard him whisper, "Tell my mom I love her." I've prosecuted dozens of cases, seen hundreds of hours of violent footage, sat through trials for murders, assaults, every horror you can imagine. But nothing prepares you to watch your own child's murder. The police department had lied about everything. The traffic stop, the weapon, the threat, the body cameras. Every single detail of their official report was fabricated to justify an execution. And they thought they'd get away with it. They thought a grieving mother would be too destroyed to fight back. They made a critical miscalculation. Because I wasn't just a grieving mother. I was a federal prosecutor with nothing left to lose and every resource necessary to burn their entire system to the ground. The fight for justice was about to begin, and I was about to show them exactly what happens when you kill a prosecutor's son. I returned to my office at the Department of Justice 3 weeks after Marcus's funeral, not as a grieving mother, as a weapon. My supervisor, U.S. Attorney General Patricia Morrison, called me into her office the first day back. "Evelyn, I can't imagine what you're going through. Take all the time you need. We'll handle your caseload." I looked her dead in the eye. "Patricia, I need you to open a federal civil rights investigation into the Metropolitan Police Department. Pattern and practice. Full scope. I have evidence of systematic civil rights violations, evidence tampering, and conspiracy to obstruct justice." She hesitated. "Evelyn, you know I can't let you work your own son's case. It's a conflict of interest. I'm not asking to prosecute the case," I interrupted. "I'm asking you to let me build it. I know this department better than anyone. I know every law they've broken, every regulation they've violated. Give me 6 months. If I can't build a prosecutable case in 6 months, I'll walk away." Patricia studied me for a long moment. "6 months," she finally said. "But Evelyn, if this gets personal—" "It's already personal," I replied. "They killed my son. They destroyed evidence. They lied to the public. Now I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to prosecute them until there's nothing left but ashes." I assembled a team. 3 of the best civil rights attorneys in the DOJ, 2 FBI agents who specialized in police corruption, and that team of cyber forensic experts who'd recovered Marcus's body camera footage. We started with Officer Daniel Morrison and Officer Kyle Brennan. Their personnel files told a disturbing story. Morrison, 8 excessive force complaints in 6 years. 3 civilian lawsuits settled quietly by the city. Disciplinary action, none. Brennan, 14 complaints. 5 lawsuits. 2 internal affairs investigations that mysteriously went nowhere. Disciplinary action, none. These weren't good cops who made a tragic mistake. These were predators with badges who'd been protected by a corrupt system for years. We pulled every arrest they'd ever made. Found a pattern. They targeted young black men almost exclusively. Claimed to smell marijuana in 67% of their traffic stops. Found weapons that turn out to be cell phones, wallets, or nothing at all in 43% of cases. But here's what really broke the case open. We found 3 other families. 3 other mothers whose sons had encountered Officers Morrison and Brennan. Deshaun Williams, beaten so badly during a traffic stop that he lost sight in one eye. The department claimed he resisted arrest. Deshaun was 17, 140 pounds. Both officers were over 200. Jamal Thompson, tossed 11 times during a wellness check called in by his grandmother. Jamal was autistic, nonverbal, terrified of strangers. The tossing caused permanent neurological damage. Andre Martin, shot during a traffic stop for reaching toward his waistband. The bullet severed his spine. He's been paralyzed from the waist down for 3 years. Marcus was the 4th. But Marcus was the one who died. We built our case meticulously. Every piece of evidence documented. Every witness interviewed. Every lie exposed. The recovered body camera footage showing the execution. The forensic analysis proving the weapon was a cell phone. The digital fingerprints showing who deleted the original footage. The pattern of abuse spanning years. The departmental policies that protected violent officers. The culture of silence that allowed this to continue. We had everything, but we still needed one more thing: testimony from inside the department. Someone willing to break the blue wall of silence. Someone willing to risk their career to tell the truth. That someone turned out to be Officer Sarah Chun. She'd been at the station the night Marcus was killed. She'd seen Morrison and Brennan return. Heard them laughing about it in the locker room. 19-year-old punk thought he could talk back to us, Morrison had said. Showed him what happens when you disrespect the badge. Marcus was 23, not 19. They didn't even know his age. Didn't know his name. Didn't care. To them, he was just another black face. Another statistic. Another body. Officer Chun had tried to report what she heard to her superiors. Was told to mind her own business and not make trouble. When I approached her 6 months into my investigation, she was ready to talk. I became a cop to protect people, she told me, tears streaming down her face. Not to watch murderers with the same badge I do. I'll testify. I'll tell everything, even if it costs me my career. She did. And it did cost her career. But it also gave us the inside testimony we needed to prosecute not just Morrison and Brennan, but their supervisors, their department, their entire corrupt system. On March 3rd, 2025, 9 months after Marcus's death, we unsealed a 47-count federal indictment. Officers Morrison and Brennan, second-degree murder, deprivation of civil rights under color of law, evidence tampering, conspiracy to obstruct justice. Their shift supervisor, Lieutenant Robert Hayes, obstruction of justice, conspiracy, failure to supervise. The department's IT administrator, Kevin Walsh, evidence tampering, destruction of federal evidence. And the Metropolitan Police Chief himself, Chief Thomas Brennan, Kyle Brennan's uncle, conspiracy, obstruction, pattern and practice of civil rights violations. The whole rotten system exposed. Stay with me. We're almost at the courtroom, and that's where everything changes. The trial began on June 15th, 2025, exactly 1 year after Marcus died. The courtroom was packed. National media, civil rights organizations, families of other police violence victims, and me. I sat in the front row every single day. Wanted those officers to see Marcus's mother. Wanted them to look into the eyes of the woman whose son they murdered. The defense attorneys tried every tactic in the book. They claimed Marcus had a history of run-ins with police, a speeding ticket from 3 years ago, and a noise complaint from a college party. They brought in a use of force expert who testified that 17 shots was appropriate given the threat level. The threat level of an unarmed man with his hands up. They painted Morrison and Brennan as dedicated officers making split-second decisions in a dangerous situation. But then we played the body camera footage. The courtroom fell silent as Marcus's voice filled the space. "Officer, what did I do wrong? I'm not resisting. Please don't hurt me." And then the gunshots. 17 of them. The sound echoing in that courtroom like thunder. When the footage ended, 3 jurors were crying. Officer Morrison stared at his hands. Officer Brennan looked at the ceiling, jaw clenched. Neither of them showed an ounce of remorse. Our forensic experts testified about the deleted footage, showed the digital trail leading directly to Kevin Walsh's computer. Proved the deletion happened 47 minutes after the shooting, during a specific time window when Walsh was logged into the system. Officer Chin testified about what she heard in the locker room. The laughter, the bragging, the complete lack of concern for a human life. And then we brought in Deshawn's mother, Jamal's mother, Andre's mother, 3 more mothers whose sons had survived encounters with these officers, but whose lives were forever destroyed. The pattern was undeniable. On the 11th day of trial, I did something unprecedented. I asked the judge for permission to deliver the victim impact statement myself. Typically, victim impact statements come after conviction during sentencing. But the judge, recognizing the unique circumstances, allowed it. I stood in that courtroom, looked directly at officers Morrison and Brennan, and I spoke. "My name is Dr. Evelyn Carter. I'm a federal prosecutor. For 23 years, I've dedicated my career to holding people like you accountable. But before I was a prosecutor, I was a mother. Marcus Carter was my son, my only child. He was 23 years old. He graduated magna cum laude from Howard University. He volunteered at youth centers. He called me every Sunday. He brought me flowers on Mother's Day. He was planning to propose to his girlfriend next month. I helped him pick out the ring. Now that ring sits in my drawer. Sarah will never wear it. They'll never get married. They'll never have the children Marcus dreamed about. Because you murdered him, not in self-defense, not in a split-second decision. You murdered him because you could, because the system protected you, because Black lives have never mattered to officers like you. You shot my son 17 times. 17. You shot him while he had his hands up, while he begged for his life, while he told you he wasn't resisting. And then you laughed about it. You deleted the evidence. You lied in your reports. You called a cell phone a weapon. You try to bury what you did. But I'm a prosecutor, and prosecutors don't bury evidence. We uncover it. We expose it. We bring it into the light. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to be convicted. You're going to go to prison. And every day for the rest of your miserable lives, you're going to wake up knowing that the justice system you try to hide behind is the same system that put you in a cage. And maybe you'll think about Marcus, about the brilliant young man whose life you stole, about the mother you destroyed, about the family you broke. But probably not, because people like you don't think about your victims. You think about yourselves. Well, let me tell you something. I will never stop thinking about Marcus. I will never stop fighting for justice. And I will make damn sure that no other mother has to stand where I'm standing today. I sat down. The courtroom was silent except for quiet sobbing. Judge Patricia Hernandez, a woman who'd presided over thousands of cases in her 30-year career, was wiping tears from her eyes. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Officer Daniel Morrison, 25 years in federal prison, no possibility of parole. Officer Kyle Brennan, 25 years in federal prison, no possibility of parole. Lieutenant Hayes, 15 years. IT Administrator Walsh, 10 years. And Police Chief Thomas Brennan, 20 years, plus permanent disbarment from law enforcement. But the sentence that mattered most? The consent decree. The federal court placed the entire Metropolitan Police Department under a consent decree, direct federal oversight for the next decade. Every policy, every procedure, every hire, every complaint, all monitored by federal authorities. Body cameras became mandatory, with automatic cloud backups that couldn't be deleted by anyone in the department. Use of force policies were completely rewritten, emphasizing de-escalation. A civilian oversight board was established, with real power to investigate and discipline officers. And perhaps most importantly, Officers Morrison and Brennan's entire case history. Every arrest, every use of force report, every complaint was reviewed. 47 convictions were overturned. 17 people were released from prison. 8 civil rights lawsuits were filed against the department, all of which settled for significant amounts. The system that protected these officers was dismantled piece by piece. On the 1-year anniversary of the verdict, I visited Marcus's grave. I brought flowers. Sunflowers. His favorite. I sat on the grass next to his headstone and I told him everything. About the trial, the convictions, the reforms. About how his death, as senseless and tragic as it was, had sparked change. About how Sarah was doing. She'd started a foundation in Marcus's name, providing legal assistance to families of police violence victims. About how I'd returned to work, but different now, focused entirely on civil rights cases, making sure what happened to Marcus would happen to fewer and fewer people. And I told him I was sorry. Sorry that being his mother, being a federal prosecutor, hadn't protected him. Sorry that all my power and knowledge and connections couldn't save his life. Sorry that justice, when it finally came too late for him. But baby, I whispered, tracing his name on the headstone, I promise you this. Every officer I prosecute, I'm doing it for you. Every corrupt cop I put behind bars, I'm thinking of you. Every mother I help get justice, I'm honoring you. Your life mattered, Marcus. And I'm going to spend the rest of mine making sure everyone knows it. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a mother sitting in an empty courtroom, reviewing case files through tears. Sometimes it's a community demanding accountability when the system tries to hide. Sometimes it's one person with the courage to speak truth to power, even when it costs them everything. My son Marcus is gone. No verdict, no sentence, no reform will ever bring him back. But his death exposed a rot that had been festering for decades. It shattered the blue wall of silence. It proved that even the most powerful systems can be held accountable. And it gave dozens of other families the justice they'd been denied. If you're watching this and you've lost someone to police violence, I see you. I know your pain, and I want you to know you're not alone. Fight. Document everything. Find allies. Don't let them bury your truth. Because justice is possible. It's hard. It's painful. It takes time. But it's possible. This is Untold Chronicles, where hidden stories of justice finally come to light. If this story moved you, hit that like button right now. subscribe, and turn on notifications. We share stories like this every day. Drop a comment. Have you or someone you love been affected by police violence? Share your story. Your voice matters. And please, please, share this video. The more people who see it, the more pressure we put on the system to change. Marcus's story isn't just about one mother's grief. It's about all of us demanding better, demanding accountability, demanding justice. I'll see you in the next Chronicle.
I was a foolish little child, crazy things I used to do, and all the pain I put you through. Mama, now I'm here for you, for all the times I made you cry, the days I told you lies. Now it's time for you to rise, for all the things you sacrificed. Oh, if I could turn back time, rewind, if I could make it undone, I swear that I would make it up to you. Mom, all grown up now, it's a brand new day. I'd like to put a smile on your was a foolish little child, crazy things I used to do, and all the pain I put you through. Mama, now I'm here for you, for all the times I made you cry, the days I told you lies. Now it's time for you to rise, for all the things you sacrificed. Oh, if I could turn back time, rewind, if I could make it undone, I swear that I would make it up to you. Mom, all grown up now, it's a brand new day. I'd like to put a smile on your I was a foolish little child, crazy things I used to do, and all the pain I put you through. Mama, now I'm here for you, for all the times I made you cry, the days I told you lies. Now it's time for you to rise, for all the things you sacrificed. Oh, if I could turn back time, rewind, if I could make it undone, I swear that I would make it up to you. Mom, all grown up now, it's a brand new day. I'd like to put a smile on your